Okay, live time for another catch up with Mayo. And we're going to wait for the people to start showing up here. And in the meantime, I'm just going to get myself set up, which I'm not always 100% set up beforehand. So, alrighty. So, September 22nd, 2020, Joan Jett's 62nd birthday. Just start us off here. And who will be our first person to come on to the chat? And it's Wink55. Hello, Rich. We got two Richards. Hello, Richard 1 and Richard 2. And we're doing a nightly chat. What's going on? First time, a long time. I don't think you've been a first timer. Must be missing something here. Hello, Tony. First time first. Hey, Rondo. Hello, John. Hello. Now, I know that Beetle Boy 909. I know that you're Mason. I found out. So that's all right. Not a problem. You're welcome. You're welcome to be here. I'm just, what, you didn't know? I know that's your handle. Hello, Thomas Jean. Thomas Jean, this is for you. Thomas Jean always loves the cup, the famous neon green cup. A lot of people think that the cup is yellow, but I guess, however, you see colors. People see colors differently. Hello, Andrew Freeman. What's up? When's the next Beatles album coming out? I don't know. I guess when George and John come back. No, I really don't know. Hello, James Hill. Wink55 wants to know, thinking of getting a butcher cover, would you recommend a second or third state for long-term value? For value, I think these days the second state is more valuable without being peeled, because so many of these have been peeled that it's rare to find one that hasn't been peeled. That's a second state, and I think these days that's probably more rare. The peeled ones are easier. Sometimes I think easier to come by these days. It's funny. And what I always like about the second state sealed Beatles butcher cover is that you get to see Ringo underneath. You see Ringo on the right side. Polo says, great channel and info, but the new headset sounds nasal and bad sound, man. I don't know if you're talking about this. This is an old headset. I'm just going to say, I know a lot of people don't like the headset. I'm sorry when I have to use it, but the reason I'm using it is I'm doing this chat at a time when my upstairs neighbors are active and they're walking around and they're flushing the toilets and they're creaking the floorboards, and it doesn't really pay to not have the headset, because this microphone does manage to drown out some of that ambient sound, which is why I use this. Okay, I'm sorry for those who don't like it. You have to just put up with it. Sorry. Okay. Hello, Jeff Kendall. How are you there? What's going on? So Rundo bought the butcher cover, right? The day that it was released. Is that what you're saying? You have the original butcher cover? Yeah, it's funny, Wink 55. I was just thinking about that myself. About, you see, what can I expect to spend for a second state? It depends. It depends on the condition. Anywhere from $400 to over $1,000, I imagine, depending on the condition and depending on who's selling it and how much they want to charge for it. So, Yelly Man, why did they use a picture like that for a Beatles album? Well, the person the photographer who shot the cover, just was a surrealist. He liked a lot of weird stuff. And there's other photos you might have seen from this photographer where, and I should remember his name. Is it Whitaker? Let me make sure that I know my Beatles. And there's other pictures from that era, like stuff like where you see the Beatles with nails, hammering nails, and they're driving a nail into another Beatles head, and stupid things like that, crazy things like that. That was the idea. This guy was a surrealist, as John Lennon called him. Robert Whitaker, thank you, John. Right, and it was his idea. John Lennon was asked, whose idea was it, and he said the photographer who took it. It was his idea, and the Beatles, of course, were really excited to do it, especially John. Oh, I see. I see. Rondo X has it's covered, but you can see the original cover underneath. Yeah. Okay, good. What artist do I collect the most outside of the Beatles? I guess Joan Jett. Joan Jett, the Blackhearts, I suppose. It used to be Elvis. Still have a lot of Elvis, but I've kind of like toned that down a great deal. Yes, Andrew. The answer is yes. There have been many albums, so I'm sure you'll pick one of them up, right? Listen to it. Hello, Garrett. How are you? Good to see you here. Yes, thank you for being here. Let's talk about McCartney III. Well, there's not much to talk about yet, other than the fact that it's a rumor. We don't know for sure yet what's going to happen, if it's true or not. I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying it's not true. We don't know. But I still think that the rumors were strong enough, and the proof was strong enough that it was at least worth mentioning, as a rumor. So I really don't know. Let's see. People are excited about McCartney 3. I could see that. Yeah, John Marino, I agree with you. The domain name, there's a lot of little hints, if you will, that it could be true. But we don't know. We just have to wait. If there's going to be anything coming out from Paul, like a McCartney 3 album or otherwise, we're going to supposedly get an announcement in October. So, and I'm with you. I would hate for Egypt Station to be the last album from Paul. But having said that, I wonder, the McCartney 1 album and the McCartney 2 album aren't exactly considered his very best albums. So I wonder if he did put out a McCartney 3 album where he produces, writes, performs everything himself. I really wonder, would it do well? And if not, I know Paul's a little bit of an egotist, let's face it. The last album, Egypt Station, did make number one somehow, uh, through marketing and stuff. But the thing is, he did get a number one album, and he could say, "Hey, I went out with a number one." Knowing Paul's ego, would he want to risk putting out McCartney 3? And maybe you never know when it's going to be his last album. Paul is such a workaholic that I think he could go on and on and on and on and on indefinitely until he drops, and put out all kinds of new music. So it doesn't mean that McCartney 3 would be his last. I'm just saying there's always a chance that from this point on, obviously, there's always a chance that any album that Paul does could be his last. You don't know. Does he want to go out with McCartney 3? That's what I'm wondering. So, let's see. Hello to Album Revolution. Do I like Kiss, the rock group? I'm not a big Kiss fan at all, but I do like some of their songs. So, George, the only thing that interests me on the record store day, from September 26th, drop number two, record store day, is the Paul McCartney half speed mastered McCartney album. What's going on? Let's see. Yelly Man says, Paul McCartney will make music as long as he lives. If manipulated Egypt station to number one and was successful, he will do it again. Hey, is Jake? Well, I'm not even going Garrett. I'm not even going to get into that conspiracy theory with John and Paul. It's crazy. Yeah, Rondo X says he just can't dig Egypt Station. Lord knows he's tried. I like the album, but I don't love the album. It's just all right. It's a pretty good Paul album, especially pretty good for a man who was what 76 at the time, give or take. We could be thankful for that he's doing it, and there's some good stuff on it. Nobody quits after a number one album. Name one. No, of course nobody quits. I'm just saying, Paul, again, Paul, not to keep reiterating, but Paul is getting older, and we don't know. He's 78 now. We don't know how many albums he's got left in him. That's all I'm saying. Uh, I don't expect Paul to quit because he's a workaholic. Good for us and good for him. But I just wonder if it goes into Paul's mind. Gee, I don't know. I had a number one. Do I want to chance it? I think Paul's like that a little bit. Bottom line is, if he is going to do a McCartney III, I give him a lot of credit, and I think it's good that he's not resting on his laurels with a number one Egypt Station. How many Beatle albums do I have? I have no idea. I don't count them, so I don't know. I can't even estimate. I like the album New. I think New is much better than Egypt Station. Much better. That's been my opinion all along. So that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. Yeah, Thomas Jean says Macca McCartney. For those of you who don't know, Macca is short for McCartney. He says Macca will die happy in the studio. My girlfriend thinks he'll die on stage. I mean, I don't think. I mean, literally, she thinks. Literally, but I don't think that he wants that. What if he makes a whole album of songs like Happy Day? What's Happy Day? You mean Happy with You? Singing in the old voice, but with strong songs like that. That would be fine. Hopefully, he knows what type of material to do. If he can't fix his voice up a little bit for the recording, then sing the right type of songs that will work with your voice. And early days also. Yes, I see you put early days, Yelly Man. Which Beatle album have I yet to buy? I don't think there is any Beatle album I have yet to buy, unless you're talking about all kinds of things, offshoots, bootlegs, things like that. There's always something else to get from that. Um, how was the Talk More Talk trivia show? You haven't watched it yet. It wasn't a trivia show, by the way. It's going to be up eventually. It'll be on the Talk More Talk channel. It went splendid. It was a big success. It's not a trivia show. It's a show where our listeners it's our 50th episode. So for our 50th episode, we decided to do something special. Let all the viewers show up on the Zoom screen, those who wanted to participate, and they were able to ask us questions, just general questions. What do you think of this? Opinion questions, not trivia contest. Just what do you think of this? What's the better song of this or that? And we all answered, and it was a lot of fun. And as I say, keep your eyes peeled for Talk More Talk, the YouTube channel, and it'll be on there not too long. Although the show itself was long, it was oh, 2 hours and 45 minutes, I think. What's my favorite original composition from Run Devil Run? Yeah, I like Try Not to Cry quite a bit. Um, but what's the other one? There's, oh, jeez, I can't remember all of them now. Refresh my memory. I like Try Not to Cry, but there was. Just remind me. Yes, Garrett, I'm with you. One of the perks of the quarantine is that it gave, like Paul, a well-deserved rest from touring. Well, you have to force him to rest. He needed a rest. Do I think the Beatles would have been as successful if they were primarily a 70s and later band with the evolution that music took? I don't think so. I don't think they would have been. Hello, Beetle Vinyl 85. Thank you for joining in. Beetle Vinyl 85 joined the Talk More Talk uh, special show where he got to ask us questions. Yeah, talking about Run Devil Run. I'm drawing a blank. Yelly Man says the jerk of all jerks was denied another release from prison and has issued an apology to Yoko. Do you think he would be safe outside of jail? I do not think he'd be safe out of jail. And I tell you, I wouldn't care if they released him as long as somebody out there, not me, somebody out there, you know, had a grudge. Let's put it that way. I know it's not right to say that, but I really don't care about the guy. I actually think though, being in prison for 40 years with special confinement, being kept away from harm, and also having conjugal visits with his wife. They still have conjugal visits. It's too good for a creep like that, I think. So I always say that I hope my wish would be that, and a lot of people won't like this. I don't care. The bottom line is, I just hope that you know what happened to Jeffrey Dahmer when he was in prison. That's what I wish for the jerk of all jerks. I don't care one way or the other. Robert, hello, Robert. But I don't want to spend a lot of time discussing this now. I mean, I wasn't going to answer Yelly Man, but what the hell, you know? Well, yes, Garrett. You ask if "What's My Name" turns out to be Ringo's last studio album. Do you think he went out with a bang on that one? Well, I've gone on record numerous times on different shows and things as saying that I think it's one of Ringo's best albums of all time. Now, it's not. I put it number three right now. It's my third favorite Ringo album. I just think after you have to listen to it two or three times, but it's very happy, upbeat, energized, fun, and I think it's very uplifting. I really had a great time with that album, and I would think he went out with a bang. But as Marv here, Beatle Vinyl 85 says, Ringo has said that he's working on an EP, extended play record. He said in an interview after that he released "What's My Name" that he was thinking maybe it would be his last album, but he might do EPs. And apparently that's true. He said he's working on an EP. That's the last we heard. So he's kept true to his word. Hello, Tanner Johnson. Thank you here for being here and joining us. I agree with you, Beetle Boy 909. I think "What's My Name" is Ringo's best album since Time Takes Time. However, I have liked other albums since that. Vertical Man, Why Not? I mean, I've liked albums since then, but okay, Marv. Marv says the other question he was going to ask on the Talk More Talk live chat was about the favorite solo Beatles documentary. The thing is, though, it's so hard sometimes, depending on the question. Some of them are easy; they come right out of your head. But the idea is you have to have no time to think. People ask questions, and then whatever it is that you can think of as an answer. I mean, a true answer, not just making things up, but you come out with it. Hello, Highway Blues. Kim Rayner, hello. Kim, you're from Australia, right? I'm trying to remember. James Hill says he misses seeing Julio and Richie in the videos. Are there any artists that they collect like you do the Beatles? They collect everything, really. They're very eclectic. They have very eclectic tastes, both of them, and they collect all kinds of things. But I put them in the videos as often as I can see them. I don't see them that often, but Tanner Johnson says, "What's My Name" has grown on him so much over the many times he's listened to it. Even the song "Money," which he used to think was just horrible, could really have fun with. The thing about the song "Money," it's not a good cover per se, but I have no problem with it when I'm listening to the album. It's only like 3 minutes long. It's just in the middle. It's a kind of a crazy, fun gag. So Ringo's doing it deliberately to kind of like poke fun, so to speak, at today's sound of songs, the way they make music. So, yeah, Thomas, some of the McCartney archive box sets are out of print, so that's why it's hard. You gotta it's snooze and lose on some of those, but some of them are so expensive. Garrett, I don't know if something tells me in the back of my mind that I have seen Dana Carvey's impression of Paul, but I can't really remember it right now, but I think I've seen him. Hello, doing well, Kim. How you doing, mate? You know. Harold, gonna do more solo Beatle reviews. I keep saying every time somebody brings that up, yes, indeed, I do want to really go full force, big time with Beatles solo reviews. I just hope you'll all stick with me and keep watching for when I do get devoted to that. But what I'm doing is I'm thinking of changing. I just want to change the ranking process that I did. I may go to a 5-star rating system, 1 to 5, or something more simple. We'll see. Yes, John Marino. I've seen Steve Ricks. He's a lot of fun. Does a lot of Beatles impressions. I love the way he does Ringo for some reason. His voice sounds Ringo. It's just great. It's great. He's like he does a really good Ringo. I gotta say, he does Paul and John pretty well too. I think the McCartney II archive is one of the ones that's out of print. But, but these days you can get almost anything if you look online and you're willing to pay. But nobody wants to pay that much. Hello, Darren. Darren Gamble. Hello, Andrew. Do I think that the Hard Day's Night album sounds better in mono or stereo? My position on those Beatles subjects of mono or stereo has to do with the individual songs. Some of the songs I like better in mono, some of the songs I like better in stereo. Having said that, I think overall I prefer the Hard Day's Night UK we're talking about album in mono, I think. Although there could be exceptions of some of the songs, but Roy Goad says he thinks the Beatles' early covers were great, superior to other covers at the time. I agree. I agree. The Beatles were great, and they do great covers. They did great covers. What are my personal hopes for the potential McCartney 3? I would like it to come out, first of all, that there really would be McCartney 3. I hope the whole thing is completely homespun. It's a one-man show, I hope. I hope it does happen, and I hope if it does happen that Paul does indeed play all the instruments, does everything himself. And I just hope there's some good material on it, really. That in spite of Paul's vocal limitations these days, he's able to put it to good use, his voice, and make a decent album. That's what I'm hoping. Andrew D. Filippo, I like Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5 up to a point. I always say I loved the Jackson 5 when I was a kid. They have a lot of great songs, and I like Michael Jackson when he did individual hits, like early on, stuff like the song Ben, stuff like Rockin' Robin, and then he went out and had great stuff when he did Off the Wall and Thriller. But I stopped at Thriller. I'm not interested in anything after Thriller. Hello, James Byers. Good to see you again. Yes, I think that would be great. I like what you say there. Yes, Highway Blues, the version of Money by Ringo off What's My Name, kind of reminded me. I said that before too of the Flying Lizards crazy version. But yeah, the Beatles version of Money is one of the greatest covers of anything, one of the greatest covers they did. And I do think also that we talked about just a little while ago about mono and stereo differences. The song Money, the cover, Money, That's What I Want, blows the roof off the house in stereo. I think the stereo is the only way to listen to Money, That's What I Want. Yes, Nicholas Pearl. I used to do that too, put tracks together to make certain albums like that. I don't think Chaos and Creation is all Paul, uh, only Paul. But he's had a lot of things that we could call McCartney III, the Fireman albums, that he did, including Electric Arguments and stuff, even though he's gotten help from Youth on that. So, what do I think is the best Beatles cover? They did a lot of them. I do think Money is Twist and Shout. Money, Twist and Shout, Words of Love. I think that Twist and Shout, Money, and Words of Love are better than the originals. I like a lot of the covers they did. You Really Got a Hold on Me is good. Beetle Vinyl 85 agrees that Money, That's What I Want sounds better in stereo. He says that was a 4-track stereo mix. Yes, I do like Roll Over Beethoven. In fact, during the Talk More Talk show that I did last night live, one of the questions that one of the viewers asked us was, each one of us, was, what do you think is George Harrison's best cover vocal, song with the Beatles in the Beatles days? And I went with Roll Over Beethoven. There's other stuff too. Totally, yeah, totally. I like Joe Cocker's version with a little help from my friends. It wasn't always thus. I know I heard it the first time I heard it. I was like, "Oh, this is terrible. It's so bluesy and dramatic and all this. It's supposed to be fun and poppy." I like it now, Joe Cocker's version. I really do like it. So opinions do change, but not of Pet Sounds yet. So "Devil in Our Heart" is a good George cover Beatles song. Hello, Greg Rappa. How are you? What do I think? Garrett wants to know, what do I think is the earliest Beatles song that shows their innovation abilities before Tomorrow Never Knows? Oh, I got to really do a lot of thinking with that. Well, Tomorrow Never Knows is the first really dramatic one. How about Norwegian Wood, just because of the sitar? Trying to think. I feel fine with the feedback, even though it was accidental. I'm doing very good. Thank you, Greg. Thank you. I like All Things Must Pass the way it came out with Phil Spector's production, but I do admit I would love to hear it very stripped down, just for a difference, just to hear it. Yeah, I don't really know if we're going to get a Jonathan. If we're going to get a 50th anniversary All Things Must Pass or a 50th anniversary John Lennon Plastic Ono Band, looks like it's going to be next year, not this year. If at all, nothing definite, but I've heard some rumblings from those kind of in the know a little bit. Yes, Leave My Kitten Alone. Definitely, definitely a lot of fun, that one. Yeah, no, well, we had both, Tanner Johnson. The question actually was, what's your favorite cover by George with the Beatles and solo? For solo, I went with Baltimore Oriole, or somewhere in England. Yes. Hi, Robbie. Thank you, Greg. Glad you liked the McCartney III video, but it was just a gossip report, nothing more. Do I prefer George's original demo of "I'll Still Love You" or Ringo's version? I don't think you're ahead of me there, too, Beetle Boy. I don't think that I've heard. I don't recall hearing George's version. I like the Ringo version. I think it's got a haunting kind of otherworldly sound quality to it. I like the mix, but George didn't like the mix, and he sued Ringo over it. Hello, Tom Hunyadi. I'm so glad to see Tom here, my partner, one of my co-hosts on Talk More Talk. And of course, he's going really well, interviewing a lot of people on his own show that he's doing, his podcast, Two Legs with Andy Nichols. Yes, Roy, I'm with you. Slow Down is another great one. Now, Slow Down is a song I like better in stereo. We're talking about stereo mono again. So, yes, I have to tell you, Garrett, that's very interesting. You say that you like the original Anna Go to Him by Arthur Alexander better than the Beatles version, and I'm with you, I think, on that. I think I like the Beatles version. But I heard, thanks to the Sirius XM channel, I heard Arthur Alexander's version of Anna uh, quite a number of times in rotation. And I came to really like Arthur Alexander's original. Hi, George. Have I heard the Beatles bootleg recording 1963 on iTunes? Yes. Tony says Tom and Joe could be my favorite Talk More Talk hosts. Wow. Thanks for that. Now, you sure? Are you sure that if there was a show given by Kit and you had Ken Michaels writing in, you wouldn't say that they're the two favorites? Till There Was You is a very nice version, Robbie. I agree with you, but it's funny. Even though I do enjoy the song, eh, I almost wish it wasn't on with the Beatles. I don't know why. I do like it. This makes sense. I enjoy the song, but I wish it wasn't on there. It's a little too twee for me, but I do like it. Paul does a great job on it, and the guitar solo is very good too by George. So I agree, Garrett. I heard the Pretenders, Chrissy Hines singing "Not a Second Time," and I love that. It's one of my favorite covers. Joseph Funt. What do I think? What did I think of George Harrison's version of "It Don't Come Easy"? That I've heard, and it's very good. But Ringo's is always the one. I mean, I grew up with that. There's nothing I can do about it. That's my favorite version. I love it the way it was recorded. "It Don't Come Easy" is my all-time favorite Ringo song and recording, even more than even over the Beatles stuff that he did. So JC Dad, what do you say, JC? Funny stuff. Let's see, Matchbox is a great tune. Capital Beatles second album or Hey Jude? No, well, I'm a big fan of. I like Hey Jude, the Hey Jude album as well, but I'm a big fan of the Beatles second album. Is my favorite album of all time. So, Robert, my Beatles T-shirt collection is getting bigger and bigger. I have a lot of T-shirts. I want to get even more, but I want to get more obscure stuff, more solo stuff. I want to get stuff like an extra texture T-shirt and stuff like that. We had a question last night on the Talk More Talk about the Now and Then song, and I only heard it once. It didn't really knock me out. Believe it or not, I never really went back to it. Yes, Arthur Alexander also did a shot of Rhythm and Blues and Soldier of Love originally. I heard his Soldier of Love. I think I like John doing it better. That one. Words of Love. I love Buddy Holly. I love Buddy Holly, but I think the Beatles version is so much better at blending John and Paul's harmony. That's one of the best dual performances of all Beatledom, of all Beatles history of John and Paul together on Words of Love. I think that's one of the best. Next Beatles box after Let It Be. Let's just hope we get Let It Be. We're supposed to get Let It Be in 2021. Yeah, I have to. Yeah, Tanner, thanks. Yeah, Don, the homeless guy at my record store, did a version of "Come On to Me" and "For You," and I don't know where they are right now. They must be somewhere in a video. Let me know if you ever find out which video they're in, because I actually had Don doing "Come On to Me" by himself, and it got flagged. So, I know how to get around that. Well, yeah, Tony says we need a Rubber Soul and Revolver box at least at some point. We need all of them. It's the Beatles for crying out loud. The Beatles, all of them should be given the remastered, deluxe, put on outtakes, bonus stuff treatment, not just the stuff from Rubber Soul onward. Nicholas says, does it ever bother you when people shortchange Ringo? Well, yeah, but you say bother me. That's a little strong. I feel that they're just, you know, jumping on the bandwagon to bash Ringo. And Ringo's a better drummer than they give him credit for, and he has better albums here and there than they think. But it's one of those things, like I just did a video about with Paul, about, well, there's a certain period where you think, well, that's Ringo's or Paul's peak, and that's it. They didn't do anything after that, and that's just not true. If you really listen to it all and try to be unbiased against him. Yes, I know the song Goodbye. Yes, and I know Paul wrote it, and there's a demo of him doing it. The Beatles' second album is my favorite. Did someone gift it to you, or did you buy it? Well, when I was a kid, I had it. I had a lot of the early Beatles albums when they were kind of first out. Thank you, Kim Rayner. Good to see you here. Come back again. Did the Beatles ever cover Hank Williams? I'm going to say no, but I could be wrong. Sorry about hearing the drinking. That's the way it is with the microphone. I saw Across the Universe Thomas Jean when it first was released to DVD, and I actually enjoyed it. I remember liking some of the songs, but I only heard it once, saw it once, so I don't really remember. The concert for Bangladesh has been out so many times. It's out of print, you say? Are there any outtakes or demos that you wish they had developed and or finished properly? Well, they have this thing called outfakes where they kind of take, a take of one take and put another one together and kind of make like a phony version of it. They did that with a bunch of things rather than give you just straight takes. But um, I never all I could tell you is I never liked the "And Your Bird Can Sing" version where John and Paul are laughing their asses off during it. That outtake, it's not a favorite. What made me think about ending Rancid Mayo? Yeah, a lot of people won't know about this. We could talk a little bit about it here. I do rant videos. I have fun doing them. The idea to me of rant videos is sometimes people find it humorous. I know I do when I see somebody ranting or screaming or carrying on about something, and I can relate to what they don't like, and I say, "Hey, yeah, I know what you mean. I feel the same way," and you can kind of sympathize. So I thought it's fun. But anyway, the reason I was thinking of stopping every now and then, I think, they are kind of unpleasant. They are kind of nasty. They are kind of negative. And I'm like, is that really the image that I want to portray here? Now, I'm trying not to have an image. I mean, I am who I am. We all have good sides, bad sides, happy, sad, up, down. It doesn't have to always be a happy fest all the time here. But that's the reason I was thinking. And also, I just happened to be looking at my analytics. You know what I mean? And the Rancid Mayo videos, the rant videos, are really rather low. I mean, the people are here mainly for the Beatles. Number one, they're here for the Beatles, and they're mostly here for the record store visits. They like the record store videos, and they like the Beatles. The rant videos, you can look at the top. Like I looked in my top like 50 videos of since I've been here, and there were no rant videos in the top 50 or I don't, but I mean not every video has to get a lot of hits. Um, it's not a matter of that everything has to have over 1,000 hits. But anyway, that's what I was thinking. So I wanted to know what people thought, about the rant videos if I was to stop them. And right now, I think I got like 67% say, yeah, keep doing the videos, but 67% is not enough. I don't know. Now I'm going to try to go back to things I've missed here, folks, because that's what happens when you go on with a long thing. Okay, I'm reading some comments here. Yes, Wingspan was released on DVD. I have it on DVD. Philosophical Sounds. Hey, the pandemic will prevent large concerts from happening until 2023. So we're thinking the Stones, the Who, Paul Ringo probably done performing live. If it is, so be it. I mean, if you were old enough and had the opportunity to see Paul or Ringo or the Stones or whoever you like these past like 10, 20, 20, 30 years, and you kept putting it off, that's on you, folks, whoever you may be. You had a lot of opportunities, and I say, you know what, so be it. So let's see where we go. Yeah, Elvin says any more movie reviews in the not so distant future. Well, yeah, I am going to get back to the movie channel. I have a movie channel, and I'll promote it here again. Go over and subscribe if you haven't. It's called Mayo's Movies. Very simple. MAYOS MOVIES. Excuse me. I'm getting a little bit of. Sometimes I drink water and it just lingers around here. Sorry about that. But so check that out, and I will get to them. Eventually. Then when I do them, I get in a kind of like obsessed, and I do a lot of videos of the same kind of thing. So when I get really into it, I do a number of them at once. I love this song, "The Ballad of John and Yoko." I'm trying to catch up here because I'm behind, really behind. So let me try to do that. Okay. I'm reading all your comments, going fast, but Greg, I don't know if I'm going to make a video for Record Store Day 2 only because I'm only interested in the McCartney thing. And there's not much to show with that either. It's basically the same cover, the same gatefold, the same everything. Sorry if I missed your questions, but I don't know why George described Rubber Soul Revolver as being so similar. They're not similar at all, I agree. Boy, Stompy up my female neighbor Stompy upstairs is really stomping up a storm up there. Stompy, what do you say, Stompy? I mean, if you're gonna walk, just walk. Don't stop. I saw her in the back taking out the garbage, and she's very tall and she's very athletic. She's very tall, athletic, and like kind of a big woman. And I think that's why she stomps around. She walks, and every time I see her walking anywhere, to her car, to the going to the trash compactor or whatever, she's always very, very, very furious and fast and hyper. That's why you hear it. Okay, I'm reading a lot of comments. I don't have much to say. To all of them opinions about the Let It Be box, maybe being a truncated version, a smaller version. Yeah, I agree about McCartney III would be the shining light of the miserable dark tunnel that was 2020. Very good story, Beetle Vinyl, about Dad and you watching the anthology in '95, and your father saying, "I don't think so, George," when he was saying about Rubber Soul and Revolver being one volumes one and two. Joseph Mack, what's going on? Ah, Cheap Beats has insights. Aha. He's in the mark my words, the Let It Be box set will be a 2 CD edition truncation of what was supposed to be a big box. That is why they are releasing the Get box separately. No big book means no big box. Interesting. What do I think of the zombies? I like Time of the Season. She's not there and tell her no. That's all I can tell you. I mean, I haven't listened to a lot of zombies. Have I seen any good movies lately? You mentioned Django Unchained. I like that movie, but I haven't really been watching movies lately. No. Kimba says I always make her parent. I'm sorry, I forgot to say hello before Kimba. I think so. Welcome. Always make her paranoid about being the upstairs neighbor because she's an upstairs neighbor too. It's terrible. Oh, it's terrible. Could be worse. We could have screaming, crying kids or barking dogs. Do you think if George did not rush Dark Horse album and waited until his voice was better, it would be a good album? The songs aren't particularly well. I like some of the songs. No, I mean I like some of the songs. I don't think it's a consistent album song wise, but there are songs I like. It would be better if his voice was better, but songs aren't all the greatest. James Byers, have you lowered your expectations for Paul over the last few years, or do you still hope he has a final Band on the Run or Ram in him? I don't know, but I thought the album New, which is now 7 years old, would have been a great album to go out on. But I thought that was good. But I don't know. I I was debating with people in the comment section of my video about Paul, one of the recent videos I did, and I said, I mean, I don't think the man can continue to surprise. He continues to write some good songs. Are all the songs he writes great now? No, but I still think he's got it. I don't think the songwriting natural songwriting gift has ever left Paul. I don't think so. Tanner Johnson, please. Always a pleasure when I see your name pop up. Have I ever watched Disney's Fantasia High while high? No, I've never gotten high unless you count high on life, high on music, high on hobbies, and things like that. Hello, Tom's Vinyl Shack. I saw L7 appear in here a little for a moment. I already like Venus and Mars. I think Venus and Mars is a killer record already. I don't know if John, that story that John was maybe gonna work with Paul. Then I don't know. But will Paul's voice be shot on the new album? Well, the way I feel about that, Tom, is if maybe he can do some kind of studio stuff to help his voice out, or whether even if he can't, if he writes songs like Early Days or Happy with You, if he writes songs that fit the elderly voice, the elderly perspective, the kind of old wheezy, weary Englishman, maybe he can get by with it. I'm sorry, David. I missed somebody. David Henson says last time around you seem to have a negative opinion of Frank Zappa. Is there a reason for that? Well, the only thing is, I'm just not big on the guy's music. I mean, from what I've heard of it, I'm not too big on his stuff really. I don't mean to be so negative about him. I don't know enough about Frank Zappa's music, but what I've heard of it, I don't really care for much. It's a little fun, tongue in cheek here and there, but places. But then he had a real problem with John Lennon. I don't blame him for that. When John and Yoko took his stuff and remixed it or changed it around, um, and that was that. It wasn't right that John and Yoko did that. But what I said is, since I'm not a big Zappa fan, I'm not a Zappa fan at all. I was just trying to say it doesn't affect me as much. Like I don't care. I'd be more affected if Zappa had taken a John song and screwed around with it because I'm more a John supporter. You follow? But I don't think John was right for doing that. Frank Zappa described the Beatles as quote just a good commercial group. If you couldn't be, if you're up there, Frank, you couldn't be 1/10 of what the Beatles were. So, but that's how I feel. I feel the same way about Lou Reed. Although if I like Lou Reed, if anything, I prefer Lou Reed to Frank Zappa. If anything, Tom, other people have asked me if I'll be attending the second day of Record Store Day. I'm off that day, so I may. I'll sure I'll show up there. Yeah, Marv likes Frank Zappa. There you go. Well, I don't buy that. I'm sorry. Cheap Beats. I know you're probably in the industry somewhere, and you say from what you gather, they said interest in a Let It Be 50th anniversary dropped once once it was said that it wasn't going to be released this year. Well, it'll pick up again once it does come out. Well, you're going to have the Get Back movie. You're going to have the Get Back giant book, and you're going to have the set. I mean, interest will come up again. I love the thinking sometimes, and I mean that sarcastically in marketing. You know what I mean? When somebody asks me how Don is, the homeless guy in my videos, all you got to do is watch the record store videos, and that's all I know. Uh, I enjoy Paul's 2007 album, Memory Almost Full. It's one of his better later offerings. When is the next Talk More Talk broadcast going up on YouTube? I would think any time now because we did one last night. So just stay tuned for it. Be on the lookout. Would I rather see a concert live in a stadium or on DVD? Depends who it is. Most of the time, I'd say, live, but DVD's good too. You get a better seat a lot of times. Well, that's it, folks. Okay, I want to thank everybody for being here. This has been an episode of Catch Up with Mayo, which means that this is going to be an episode that I probably am going to keep up here. This is going to stay up this particular episode. All right. So everybody, thanks a lot. What can you say? Just keep the faith. Uh, we'll get through this thing with this virus, and we'll get it through it together. And all I could say is that in light of the virus and other things too, music, television, etc., all I could say is, oh, I believe in yesterday.